Our national anthem from San Diego Stadium. A good shirt sleeve crowd here to watch this ball game today. Here in San Diego, it's always cool in the evening, so it's only in the daytime that fans can watch baseball in their shirt sleeves. The San Diego Padres are not having a particularly good year. They are in 5th place, 18 and a half games out, but they have had a good year attendance-wise. Last night they went over the million mark, and they've done that now for the last 4 consecutive years. Chris, it doesn't seem that long ago that this franchise was in trouble. Now it's a moneymaker.
Yeah, and it's everybody that's connected with baseball is really happy that this franchise made it because it's so much fun to come out to San Diego. It's such a beautiful community, and it's so clean and pretty out here, and I know everybody really enjoys it. And when this franchise was thinking about moving to Washington, D.C., it was mourning all over the league, but luckily Mr. Kroc came in here and bought this team and kept it in San Diego. And the trouble with this ball club this year is it's really easy to see. You look at their stat sheet, they have 1 complete game out of their pitching staff, and that was when Randy Jones beat the Phillies back here the last time in, and he, of course, is on the disabled list. So their problem is on the mound. They have some good offensive people on this team. They can hit the ball and they can hit it with some power, but they just don't seem to get people out enough, and that's where their problem is.
Another thing about the Padres is that they are predominantly a right-handed batting team, which is also a little strange. They don't really have a very good mix of personnel. They have only 3 left-handed batters on the entire team, and none of them starts. They've got a couple of outfielders that play the same spot, Gene Richards and Jerry Turner, and they've got a reserve infielder named Pat Scanlon. But aside from that, they are all right-handed batters. Today, the whole lineup bats right-handed with the exception of the pitcher, Bob Ochinko. And the Padres have also been striking out a lot. They have 698 strikeouts, and that's a figure that doesn't mean anything unless you compare it to something. So let's look at the Phillies stats, and the Phils have struck out 461 times, so almost 300 more times. Here's Jerry Martin to lead it off for the Phillies, in a breaking ball from Ochinko is high, ball 1. This left-hander is 3-5, 4.81 earned run average. And the Padre people tell us he has looked better every time he has gone to the mound. Here is a very high fly ball in shallow left field. Coming on is Kingman, and it's way up there, but he takes it for the out. That was a very high fly ball hit by Jerry Martin, first out of the ball game. Here's Larry Boa. Larry has batted safely in 6 straight, in 12 of the last 13. Billy DeMars at third base, Tony Taylor at first base for the Phillies. Ochinko has the sign from tennis, and here's the pitch. Fouled away by Boa, strike 1. Larry batting at .288. Ochinko is only 22 years old. He was San Diego's first choice in the June draft last summer. He's out of eastern Michigan, and he hails from Detroit. Pitch on the way to Boa, low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Larry Boa. Phillies have had a good road trip so far, taking 2 out of 3 from San Francisco, and they are 2 games behind the Cubs. Breaking ball misses outside, and the count is 2-1.
This is the second straight day the Phillies are looking at someone they've never seen before, and rookie left-hander Bob Knepper yesterday and Ochinko today, and sometimes it might take an at-bat or 2, before you really get an idea what the guy throws.
A fastball misses high, and the count falls to 3-1 on Larry Boa. Boa's been a threat on the bases lately, too. Larry had 5 stolen bases in the series at San Francisco. Ochinko ready. Here's his 3-1 delivery to Boa, and it's a line drive down the line in right field. It is in for a base hit, and it goes beyond Winfield. Larry Boa loses the cap as he rounds first and goes into second. A stand-up double for Larry Boa. He really ripped it down the right field line, and I was surprised that Winfield didn't get over to cut it off, but he could not reach it. It rolled to the wall, and Larry got a double.
He hit that ball very hard, and Ochinko kind of pitched him in a pattern. He threw him every pitch was away from him, and that 3-1 fastball was out over the plate, and Larry went with him and hit it hard into the right field corner.
So Boa extends his batting streak to 7 straight ball games, and here's Mike Schmidt. Mike batting at .293, but he's always been a good hitter against San Diego, a .322 career mark against the Padres. Ochinko at the belt. His first pitch is a fastball inside, a ball. So in his last start, he goes into the 8th inning with a perfect game. And here against the Phillies, he gets only 1 out before Boa rips a double to right field. The Dodgers finally had to bunt to get a hit off him in the 8th inning in his last start. Curveball misses inside. It's 2-0 to Schmidt. Just a perfect day in San Diego. They never have any humidity out here, and the air is always cool even when the sun is hot. Here's the pitch on the way to Schmidt. Breaking ball. It's a strike call. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Schmidt. Mike with 26 home runs, and he has knocked in 58. Pitch on the way to Mike. Fastball high. 3-1 the count. Mike's batting average at .293. That's as high as it's been all year. Yesterday, Schmidt was on base 5 straight times. He had a pair of triples, and he had 3 walks. There goes Boa for third. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. Throw to third. Safe, and Larry Boa has another stolen base. Steal number 17 for Larry Boa. Schmidt swung and missed at a curveball, and it turned out that was a perfect pitch to steal on.
I don't know what's happened to him the last couple of weeks, but all of a sudden Larry's just made up his mind that he can steal bases. I guess he's been watching other teams around the league stealing so much, and everybody thought, geez, I can do that too. And he is stealing bases almost at will. He's stole that one easy again.
Left-hander Bob Ochinko getting ready to go back to work on Mike Schmidt. The count on Schmidt is full, 3-2. And here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Schmidt goes down. That's the second out of the inning, and it's up to Greg Luzinski. The Bull batting .326. Greg has batted safely in 8 of the last 9 Phillies games. Until this season, Greg had never hit a home run in this park, but he took care of that oversight the first time the Phillies were out here this year. Here's Boa coming down the line. Pitch on the way to Luzinski. Fastball inside, ball 1. The San Diego defense has rookie Tucker Ashford at third base, rookie Bill Allman at shortstop, rookie Mike Champion at second, and young Mike Ivey at first base. Veteran Gene Tennis behind the plate. Kingman in left, Hendrick in center, Winfield in right. Breaking ball is inside, 2-0 to Luzinski. Padres sometimes can start 5 rookies. Here's the pitch on the mound. It's low inside. Of course, they've got another rookie, and that would be the pitcher if you count him up out there right now. Ochinko falls behind Luzinski. 3 balls and no strikes. Dave Johnson waiting on deck. Ochinko from the windup. Here's the 3-0 to the Bull. He got a green light, and he laces it to right center field. It will go to the wall. Boa scores easily. Here goes the ball on his way to second base, and he gets there standing up. He really drilled that ball to right center field, and the Phillies lead it 1-0.
Funny, right before that pitch, Tennis took a look in the San Diego dugout, and I have a feeling that Alvin Dark probably gave him some kind of emotion like, don't throw him anything good in this spot. And they got a fastball right out over the plate to Greg, right where he likes the ball, and he really waylaid that thing, and the Phillies get a run on a 3-0 green light to Luzinski.
RBI number 72 for Luzinski, and here's Dave Johnson batting at .326. Davey hit his 7th home run yesterday at San Francisco's Candlestick Park. He also knocked in another run in that 6-3 Phillies win with a single in the 5th inning. Pitch on the way to Johnson. Strike call right at the knees. Dave playing first base for the Phillies today has 22 runs batted in. Luzinski at second with 2 down. Pitch on the way to Johnson. Ground ball just foul outside of third base. He hit it hard, and it was fouled by about 2 feet. When this series concludes tomorrow night, it'll be a pair of rookie left-handers. Randy Lurch against Bob Shirley. Then the Phillies have a twilight doubleheader at Dodger Stadium on Tuesday. Lonborg against Roden, Carlton against Hooton. Ochinko is at the belt. And now he steps off. No balls and 2 strikes the count on Johnson. Wednesday night, Christensen will face the Dodgers' Don Sutton. And on Thursday afternoon, Jim Cott will work against Tommy John. Here's the pitch to Johnson. It's low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ochinko ready to go back to work. Here's his 1-2 delivery. A breaking ball is grounded to third, but foul. Count stays at a ball and 2 strikes on Davy Johnson. Ochinko is appearing today in his 16th ball game and making his 14th start. He has worked 73 innings. He's got a 3-5 record and a 4.81 earned run average. Here's the 1-2 to Johnson. It's a little humpback liner into shallow center field, but shortstop Bill Allman gets back and he picks it off for the out. So the Phillies are retired in the first. They get a run on 2 hits, and there is 1 man left on base. At the end of a half inning, Phil's lead at 1-0. Jim Cott to face the San Diego Padres, who start with their rookie shortstop Bill Allman batting at .253. Pitch to the right-handed batter is outside a ball. Joey Amalfitano coaching at third base and Don Williams at first for San Diego. Here's a pitch that misses low. 2 balls and no strikes to Allman. He's been a much better hitter in the last 20 games. He's batting at a .338 clip during that stretch of time. Cott gets a strike on the outside corner. 2-1 the count to Bill Allman. He'll be followed by Gene Tennis and Dave Kingman. Here is a line drive into right center field. Gary Maddox getting over. He catches it on the run. A running catch by Gary Maddox, who extended himself pretty far into right center field to haul it in for the out.
Well, you just keep talking about him, and he is the best. That is just a tremendous play he made, and that was a double when it left the bat, and he just simply outran it, and at the last second just reached up and snatched it off like he was picking a cherry off a tree. He is really a great outfielder.
Here's Gene Tennis. Not often you see a catcher batting second, especially one with a .221 average. But here he is, Gene Tennis. Cott's first pitch to him is high, ball 1. One of the reasons is he's got 85 bases on balls, and even though he does strike out quite a bit, Tennis does not swing at bad pitches. 2 balls and no strikes as Cott misses again.
He must just swing through a lot of good ones.
Yeah. Here's a strike call. He is a strict fastball hitter. 2-1 pitch on the way, and it's a fly ball to right field. Jerry Martin going back. It's carrying. He's on the warning track. He grabs it. He was about 3 feet shy of the fence at the 370-foot mark, but Tennis is out as Jerry Martin catches the ball.
Jim Cott likes to say, well, if I keep it in the ballpark, I got a chance, and that's what he's done on the first 2. Just barely.
He's been just barely right. That's right. Well, Cott is a contact pitcher, and the Padres' first 2 batters have made contact. Now here's Dave Kingman, and the Phillies have a shift on. 3 infielders on the left side as Sizemore swings to the shortstop side of the bag. Pitch to Kingman. Here's a long drive into left center field. Way, way back. Gone for Kingman, and the Padres have tied the game at 1-1.
Well, the Phillies have seen enough of Dave Kingman's act with the Mets, and that was a real Dave Kingman home run. A home run when it left the bat long and high and deep to left center field, and that's how you beat that shift. Just hit it over everybody.
So the Padres have evened it up on Dave Kingman's 14th home run of the year and his second in 2 days. He hit one last night against the Mets. Here's Dave Winfield batting at .292. Winfield recently signed a new contract with the Padres. First pitch is way outside, ball 1. Winfield, the San Diego leader in both home runs, 21, RBIs, 72. A breaking ball misses high, 2-0. Cott has been getting behind the hitters. He just barely kept the first 2, Allman and Tennis, in the ballpark. He did not hold Dave Kingman. Here's a strike called. 2-1 to Winfield. Cott ready to work, and the next pitch is sliced foul down the right field side. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Winfield. Dave, a good all-around athlete. Everybody was interested in him when he came out of the University of Minnesota, and he was drafted by the Vikings in football and by the Hawks in basketball. Here's a line drive down the right field line. It hits in fair territory and rolls to the corner. Winfield on his way to second. He slides. He is safe with a double. He hit that ball so hard, it got out there in such a hurry that it was a close play at second base. That's the kind of ball that you automatically assume is a double, and it was a relatively close play because that ball really zoomed out there into the wall.
Jim Cott is really throwing some ropes in this first inning. The first 2 outs of the game were hit very hard, and then Kingman hit the home run, and then Winfield really smoked that ball. So getting hit pretty hard, and the Phillies are still in a tie game.
Here's Mike Ivy. A breaking ball is over for strike one called. Ivy batting at .282. Last time the Phillies saw the Padres, Ivy was in the doghouse. Padres wanted him to play third base one night, and he refused. That was back when John McNamara was managing. One strike the count on the right-handed batting Mike Ivy. Here is the lollipop change, and it misses outside. The Chicago Cubs 3 runs in the 5th inning. So it's 8-6, Houston leading Chicago at the end of 5. Cesar Cedeno has hit a home run for Houston. They've had 3 homers in the game. Cabell, Howe, and Cedeno. Paul Russell is now pitching in relief for Chicago. Here's the pitch to Ivy. It's low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mike Ivy. That game at San Francisco is finally underway. It delayed because the umpires couldn't get there in time. Scoreless at the end of 2, Montreal and San Francisco. Ivy swings and sends a ground foul wide of third. Wayne Twitchell pitching against Jim Barr. The Mets did not score in the first inning at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers have lost 6 of their last 8 ball games. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Ivy. Winfield at second base, 2 outs in the first inning. Ball game is tied 1-1. Here's the pitch, and it's a ball that bounds away from Sizemore at second base on into center field. Dave Winfield scores, and San Diego leads it 2-1. They're going to rule that a hit. It was awfully hard hit, though it did bounce on the dirt to Sizemore, came up hard and bounded away from him into center field, and the Padres have taken the lead.
The center fielder.
RBI number 49 for Mike Ivy. The batter is George Hendrick, hitting at .286. Pitch to Hendrick, a fastball is over for a strike. Detroit beat Toronto today 6-2, our only American League final thus far. The winning pitcher was Bob Sykes. Here's a ball, and the losing pitcher was Jesse Jefferson. Baylor hit a home run for Toronto. 1-1 pitch on the way. It's high and outside, a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to George Hendrick with 10 home runs and 42 runs batted in. 2 outs in the inning. Mike Ivy is at first base. High. 3 balls and a strike to Hendrick. Cott stretches. Here's the next delivery, and it's a ground ball to shortstop. Mike Schmidt plays it over to second for the force, and the inning is finally over, but the Padres have come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, including Kingman's home run, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 1 inning, San Diego leads it 2-1.
At Harry S. Purcell Incorporated, 1127 South Main Street, Phillipsburg.
We'll take on the Phillies in 12 games. First in are the Giants for the weekend of July 29th, 30th, and 31st. Sunday the 31st is batting helmet day, a free Phillies batting helmet for everyone. Then these San Diego Padres will be in for night games on Tuesday and Wednesday, August 2nd and 3rd, plus a 12:35 business person special on Thursday the 4th. The Padres are followed by the first-place Dodgers for the weekend of August 5th, 6th, and 7th. The stand ends with a big twilight doubleheader with the Montreal Expos on Wednesday, August 10th at 5:35 and a 4:05 game on Thursday, August 11th. 12 big games starting July 29th in the season's longest homestand. Get your tickets right away. Gary Maddox fouls back the first offering by Ochinko. Strike 1 as we start the second inning. Gary Lee hitting at .275. Maddox, Boone, and Sizemore to swing for the Phillies in the second inning. Both teams scored in their first at-bat. San Diego leads at 2-1. The rookie left-hander winds. Here's the pitch to Gary, a fastball high outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maddox, 9 home runs this year, 45 runs driven in. The 1-1 delivery on the way. It's a changeup, but it misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Ochinko winds. Here's the 2-1 delivery. It's a breaking ball, and Maddox takes it inside. The count slips to 3-1. Maddox leading off the second inning for the Phillies. Phillies have had the better of the season series with San Diego. They've won 5 of the 7 games. They have an even split here at San Diego, 2-2. Here's a pop-up foul behind the plate, but it's going out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes as the count runs full to Gary Maddox. Well, we only have about 18 games in Major League Baseball today, so of course our ticker is not working here in San Diego. Fortunately, we've got Eddie Ferenz to chase down the scores for us. Here's a breaking ball that's fouled off by Maddox, and the count holds at 3-2.
Eddie didn't do his running before the game today like he usually does down on the field, so he says he did. Well, I didn't see him, but he'll get plenty of exercise up here this afternoon running back and forth to that ticker.
You didn't see him. How can you miss him? Here's the full count pitch to Maddox. Low inside, ball 4. Gary walks. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Phillies Baseball Network.
Join me, Fred Anderson, Monday evenings at 6:15 for Sportsline, and we'll talk sports right here on WEST Radio 14 Easton.
Here's Bob Boone for the Phillies. Boone batting at .290, his season's highest average. Ochinko makes a move to first base, not in time to get Maddox. Boone's father, Ray Boone, is here watching the ball game today. Of course, Ray, a former Major League player, a guy whose career actually went the reverse of Boone's position-wise. Here's Bob trying to lay down a bunt, but he misses it, and that's a strike. Bob started out as a third baseman and became a catcher. Ray Boone started out as a catcher and became a pretty good third baseman. Bob, of course, a product of Crawford High right here in San Diego. 1 strike to count on right-handed batting Bob Boone. Pitch on the way to him, low, and it gets through tennis. Gary Maddox will walk to second base. That's got to be a pass ball. That pitch was not in the dirt. That is a pass ball on Gene Tennis. He is not a strong defensive catcher. He throws all right. He can throw you out, but he does seem to have a spring in his glove.
Yeah, he's never been known as a great catcher. Even when they were winning those pennants at Oakland and he was their catcher, he was kind of a liability behind the plate, but he is a good offensive player, and that's what they want to use him as.
Although they've been disappointed in this year, he's batting at .221 right now. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Boone. Maddox now at second, nobody out. Pitch on the way to Boone is strike called. Looked like a slider, and Ochinko got it over. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bob Boone. Ochinko stretches. Here's the next pitch, way inside. Boone checks his swing, and the count is 2-2.
Early looking at Ochinko, he likes to pitch the right-handed hitters in. He's thrown a lot of pitches into the right-handed hitters, and he likes to establish that inside corner of the plate and then work away. And you have to like a left-hander that'll come in on the right-handers. You have to win.
Now he wheels around but does not release towards second base, and they have called a balk on him, and here comes Alvin Dark out of the dugout to talk it over with Bob Engel, the second base umpire who made the call, but Maddox is going to third.
Really don't understand why that's a balk, but there's so many ways to commit them that there's no way you can know all of them. The umpires, luckily, are the ones who know them. You're allowed to fake a throw to any base except first base, and with it occupied like that. And I don't know what he did wrong. He just wheeled off the mound and faked the throw to second, and you see that 100 times and never a balk being called. But there was one this time.
So actually, Ochinko and Tennis have put Maddox at third base. He was walked. He went to second on a pass ball, and now he's been balked to third base. A 2-2 count on Bob Boone. Nobody is out. The Padres are pulling their infield right into the rim of the grass. Infield is way in for Boone. Here's the pitch on the way to him. It's outside. A 3-ball, 2-strike count to Boone. Ashford at third. Allman at short, Champion second, and Ivy at first, all right behind the grass. Ochinko stretches, 3-2 pitch, ground ball, foul outside third base. Grass and dirt here in San Diego. It looks good to see it. It's really a beautiful ballpark, and even though we're into the late stages of July now, they have maintained this field very, very nicely. This is semi-arid territory here in San Diego. It's almost desert-like. They don't get a lot of rain. Here's a ground ball to second base. And Maddox will have to stay where he is, and he throws over to first in time for the out. Boone grounds out to second, and Maddox had to hold his ground. That's 1 out. That brings up Ted Sizemore. Size batting at .261.
Yes, Sizemore, second base.
Sizemore, with good bat control, should be able to poke one over this infield. I remember one day in a similar situation mentioning that on television, and Whitey turned to me and said, Well, I'd rather see Ty Cobb up there. Pitch on the way to Sizemore. High breaking ball, and Tennis leaps outside to catch it. Tennis just made a good play.
Well, that almost got the run in right there. That was really a good play Tennis made. It was a high curveball, and Gene Tennis really had to go up in the air for that one.
1-0 the count on Sizemore. Infield remains in for San Diego. Pitch on the way to Size. Line drive to left field. It is a base hit. The Phillies have tied the ball game as Maddox scores on the Sizemore single. It's 2-2. RBI number 28 for Ted Sizemore, and the Phillies are back even.
He's done that all year for the Phillies. He's such a good little hitter out of that number 8 spot, and it seems like every time there is a runner on third base with less than 2 outs, Sizemore will get the run in some way, and that's really a valuable guy to have down in your lineup hitting like that.
Here is Jim Cott. Third baseman Tucker Ashford way in on the grass for Cott. He squares around. Here's a throw to first. Sizemore running. Throw to second base. He is out. Sizemore will be out, stealing 1-3-6. Second out of the inning. Ochenko made his move to first base, and as he threw over there, Size broke for second, and he was a dead duck. Here's the first pitch to Cott. High and inside, a ball. Jim batting 143, has 4 hits and 28 times to the plate. Cott, a left-handed batter. The left-hander winds, and here's Ochenko's next pitch. It's inside. 2-0 to Jim Cott. Cott's wife, Linda, is along on this trip with the Phillies. Here's a breaking ball inside, and Ochenko falls behind Cott 3-0.
Newlyweds, the Cott. What a
That's
nice
right.
way to spend the honeymoon.
3-0 pitch on the way to Jim. High, ball 4. Ochenko walks him on 4 pitches. That is the second walk he has issued. The other one was, of course, to Maddox, and he has scored.
Number 25, Jerry Martin.
The batter is Jerry Martin. Jerry popped out to left field to start the ball game. Martin batting at .272. Well, we played an inning and a half of this game, and Phillies have scored in both of their at-bats, and the Padres in their one at-bat. Curveball, inside ball 1. Ball bounding away from Tennis, but no chance for Cott to go anywhere. Lots of baseball today. Cubs playing a doubleheader against Houston. We'll be keeping you posted on that action. Pitch on the way to Martin. It's chopped off the plate toward third. Ashford comes in. He short hops it. A nice play. He throws across in time. Good play by the rookie third baseman. And that was not an easy play for him to make. Phillies in the second have tied the ball game on a run, 1 hit, and 1 man left. At the end of an inning and a half, it's tied 2-2.
100 South Main Street in Bangor.
Mike Champion starts it for San Diego and takes a strike call from Jim Cott, rookie second baseman, batting at .242, right-handed batter. Jim to the windup, and a fastball is low inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mike Champion. Padres playing 3 rookie infielders today. Here's a fastball that's just off the inside corner, just missed with it, 2-1. Champion has knocked in 27 runs. He has not yet hit a home run. Here's a ground ball that is foul outside of third base, not foul by much. 2-2, the count to Champion. He'll be followed by Tucker Ashford. Phillies have never seen him before today. Phillies last played the Padres. Doug Rader was the third baseman. He, of course, since traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. Champion, Ashford, and Bob Ochenko to bat for San Diego in the second. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball. Backhanded at first base by Johnson. Cott covering the bag in time. And there's Jim Cott at its best. That was not an easy play, but Cott got over after a fine stop by Davy Johnson.
The third baseman, number 46, Tucker Ashford.
A lot of pitchers in the league don't make that play, but Cott pulled it off without a hitch. Here's Tucker Ashford, the rookie third baseman, batting at .224. Tucker out of Memphis, Tennessee, was a college football quarterback. Here's a strike to him. Only 22 years of age, up in the majors for the first time. Cott's changeup is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ashford has 1 home run, 6 runs batted in. The next delivery is a breaking ball that misses low. Ashford is playing today in only his 21st game.
Every once in a while, you hear a name that Guy should be an athlete. Boy, this guy's got one of them.
Here's a strike called to Ashford. Well, you think of Emmett Ashford, the umpire, and you think of Tucker Fredrickson, a good-looking running back for the Giants for years, and he puts it together. 2-2 pitch to him is off the outside part of the plate, and the count runs full to Ashford. I understand he's quite a character, too. Haven't gotten to meet him yet. Here's the full count pitch. He fouls it right at the plate.
I just like that name. There's just something about calling a guy Tucker Ashford. He just sounds like he can play. We'll just have to see, but that just sounds like a good athlete.
Outside ball 4, and we'll see Ashford as a base runner as Jim Cott offers him a walk, the first walk given up by Kitty today. And we'll probably see the San Diego pitcher Bob Ochinko in a sacrifice situation. Ochinko batting 167, 3 hits in 18 times up. He's a left-handed batter as well as a left-handed pitcher. From Eastern Michigan, here he is, bunting one, gets it almost beyond the mound. Cott knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first in time. Sizemore covering the bag. Ochinko's sacrifice is good as Ashford moves up to second base. He almost got that ball beyond the mound. Cott had to swat at it to knock it down, then scramble after it and pick it up, and he threw him out at first base. So that's 2 outs with Ashford at second base and Bill Allman the batter. The chorus in the backgrounds of We Want to Hit, the Marines sitting out in left field, and they get a hit. A line drive to right field, a base hit. Ashford being waved around. Here's Martin's throw. He is safe. Padres lead the ball game 3-2. Martin's throw a little to the outside part of the plate. On the throw, Allman goes to second base. RBI number 22 for the rookie shortstop, Bill Allman. So the trend continues. Both teams scoring in both their at-bats so far. That's hit number 4 for San Diego. Here's Gene Tennis. Tennis, right-handed batter, flied out to right field, standing deep in the box. The pitch to him is high, a ball. Rookie right-hander Warren Brewster getting up in the Phillies bullpen. Next pitch to Tennis is a strike call. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, you're hearing the Marines, as I started to say before. And down the right field side, the Navy. And they've been shouting back and forth at each other here today. This, of course, is a very big military town. Now time called. Tennis tires of waiting for Cott, who normally, of course, is a quick worker, but right here he's trying to throw Tennis off balance. Cott stretches. Pitch on the way to Tennis. It's ripped into center field. A base hit as it just gets beyond Boa. Coming around is Allman. He will score, and the Padres lead it 4-2. RBI number 45 for Gene Tennis.
The left fielder, number 26,
Jim Cott has seemingly been in trouble right from the start today, and Ray Ripplemeyer is headed for the mound. Ray Ripplemeyer out to have a word with Jim Cott. We mentioned that Warren Brewster had just gotten up in the bullpen. Houston 8, Chicago 6 at the end of 7 innings in the first end of their doubleheader. Gene Pence apparently has gone all the way for the Astros, and Paul Russell is the 4th Chicago pitcher. There have been 3 Houston home runs, Cabell, Howe, and Cedeno. Atlanta and Pittsburgh are tied at 5-all. They go to the last half of the 10th inning. Campbell pitching in relief of Capra for Atlanta. And now it's Kent DeCalvey in relief of Keeson and Jones in the 10th inning for Pittsburgh. The only home run in the game was hit by the Braves' Joe Nolan. St. Louis leading Cincinnati 3-0 at the end of 8. Cott is going to stay in the ball game. Here's the pitch on the way to Kingman, and he sends a major league pop-up foul behind the plate. Boone, mask off, long wait. He gloves it for the out. Boone catches the foul pop-up, and the inning is finally over, but San Diego has scored 2 more runs. They do it on 2 hits, and they leave 1 man on base. So at the end of 2, San Diego leads it 4-2. Now time for a taste. Phillies in the 3rd inning will start it out with Larry Boa. Boa doubled, stole a base, and scored in the first inning for the Phillies, who trailed the Padres 4-2. Phillies scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. The Padres scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Ochinko winds. Here's the pitch to Bo, a curveball on a fly ball hit to medium distance right field. Winfield toward the line of step, and he grabs it for the out. Bo is out on one pitch, and we'll look at Mike Schmidt. Schmidt, he struck out in the first inning, the only strikeout that Ochinko has recorded so far. Schmidt batting at .292. Yesterday, Mike was on base every time. Had 2 triples and 3 bases on balls. We've got another American League final. Detroit defeated Toronto 6-2. I think we gave you that one. And Texas over Cleveland by a 4-1 score. The winning pitcher there was Doyle Alexander, the losing pitcher Wayne Garland. Schmidt takes low inside, a ball. Kansas City and New York are 1-1 last half of the 8th inning. Dick Tidrow has relieved Don Gullett for the Yankees in the 9th inning. Low and inside, ball 2. Chicago 8, Boston 4 at the end of 7.5 innings. Francisco Barrios against Jenkins, relieved by Lee in the 5th. Schmidt takes low, ball 3. Eric Soderholm hit a Chicago home run. Freddie Lynn and Carl Yastrzemski have homered for the Red Sox. Baltimore knocked off Milwaukee in a final 3-2, first end of their doubleheader. The winning pitcher was Mike Flanagan, his 8th win. The losing pitcher, Brian Haas, he's 6-7. Here's a strike to Schmidt, 3 balls and 1 strike. Oakland 3, Minnesota 2 at the end of 6 innings. Bear pitching in relief for the A's. Jeff Zahn still working for Minnesota. Low, ball 4. Mike Schmidt draws a base on balls. That's the 3rd walk handed out by Ochinko. So the Phillies have 3 hits and 3 walks in the game, and here is Greg Luzinski. Greg doubled and drove in a run his first time up. Throw to first base. Back ahead of it is Mike Schmidt. 1 out in the inning. Schmidt at first base. Luzinski now with 72 runs batted in. Ochinko again makes a move to first base, not in time to get Schmidt. Our ball game here at San Diego tomorrow night will start at 10 o'clock Philadelphia time. Pitch on the way to Luzinski. It's a pitch out, but nothing was on, and Tennis does not fire to first base. 1-0 to Luzinski. He's batting at .328. Another throw to first base. Schmidt is back ahead of time. Well, the grandchildren of Mr. and Mrs. Fred Whalen of Westville, New Jersey, are here attending the game today and wanted us to send our best to the folks back home. Luzinski sends a foul wide of third base. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Bull. Larry and Eileen Schneider from Warrington are here today. Next pitch to Luzinski is high, a ball, throw to first base. Safe is Schmidt. He just got back in under the tag. Two balls and 1 strike to count to Luzinski. Here's a quick throw to first base. That's one of the oddest moves I ever saw. Ochinko was sort of towing the mound, and all of a sudden he just raised up and flipped the ball to first base. Here's a move to first, not in time. Most pitchers have a series of moves to first base. They don't go that way the same all the time. They kind of loosen you up for their best move. That's one of the worst moves I ever saw. The 2-1 pitch to the Bull. Broken bat, humpback liner to center field. Coming hard as Hendrick. He can't get it. Schmidt had to hold up. He makes it to second base. A broken back humpback liner to center field. Actually, it had a little bit more than height on it than the normal humpback liner, but still in all, Hendrick could not get in to catch it, and the Bull is 2 for 2. That's the 4th hit for the Phillies. Runners at first and second with 1 away. Here's Dave Johnson. This has been an offensive ball game. Pitchers have really been tattooed here so far. Padres have the best of it. They lead the ball game 4-2. Pitch to Dave in the dirt, ball 1. Johnson popped up to shortstop. Here's Alvin Dark at a trot coming out of the San Diego dugout. Halfway between home and the mound, he is joined by catcher Gene Tennis, who have a brief conference as he walks out to the hill. Now, the Padres are not going to be making a change here. There is no action in their bullpen. At least there wasn't. I believe that's Rick Sawyer getting up. But he, of course, would not be ready to come in the ball game. Dave Wehrmeister is also down there, and he may start throwing too.
Well, it's a nice day. It's nice and warm. Good hitter's day. Everybody likes to hit off the San Diego staff, as witnessed by the statistics, and the Phillies pitching's been a little shaky lately, so you kind of expect this to be a hitter's day.
You were talking earlier about Randy Jones having the Padres' only staff complete game of the year, and that oddly pitched against the Phillies. He, of course, is on the disabled list, but he is planning to come back early in August and try it again. He has mentally set August 6th as the date he expects to be back. Here's a breaking ball high, and a 2-0 count on Dave Johnson. Schmidt at second, Luzinski at first, 1 down. Phillies trail it by 2 runs. 2-0 pitch on the way to Johnson. Low inside, ball 3. They tell us Ochinko is a cocky youngster, that he has the confidence to become a good major league pitcher. He may have to show some of that here today. Here's his 3-0 pitch to Johnson. Low, ball 4. Phils have the bases loaded. Bases are loaded for the Phillies. It brings Gary Maddox to the plate.
Number 31, Gary Maddox.
And starting to throw a little faster in the bullpen is Sawyer. Maddox walked his first time up, and Gary came around to score a run as he went to second on a passed ball, and then Ochinko balked to move him to third base. Pitch on the way to Maddox. Swings and sends a fly ball to center field. Maybe deep enough to score Schmidt. Hendrick over to make the catch. Here comes Mike heading for the plate. He will score without a throw, and the Phillies have gotten a run back. It's 4-3 San Diego. RBI for Gary Maddox on the sacrifice fly is 46th of the year. Hendrick made his throw to third base to make sure that Luzinski didn't move up.
This game is following a real pattern. The Phillies keep scoring 1. Unfortunately, the Padres come back with 2 each time.
This can't go on like this.
Well, I hope not.
Here's Bob Boone. Runners at first and second with 2 away. Boone grounded out to second base. From the stretch, Ochinko's delivery is a ball hit hard to center field. Headed back is Hendrick. He appears to have room, and he catches it about 10 feet shy of the warning track in dead-away center field. So Boone is out to end the third inning, but the Phillies have gotten another single run. They do it on 1 hit, and there are 2 men left on base. So at the end of 2.5, San Diego leads 4-3. Here's Dave Winfield to start it for San Diego, and he takes low, ball 1. Well, the game is official now. The KGB Chicken has arrived. That's San Diego's most popular sports personality. Here's a pop-up. Sizemore peering up at it, back on the outfield grass. Second baseman grabs it for the out. Dave Winfield pops out to second baseman Ted Sizemore, first out of the third inning. And the famed San Diego Tuba Man is also here with his entourage. Mike Ivy, the batter, he hit one so hard toward Ted Sizemore the last time up that they gave him a base hit as the ball bounded away from Sizemore. He got leather on it but couldn't hold it. Ivy rips the ball to center field. Gary Maddox turns his back. He races back. He's still going. He catches that ball. Can you believe it? He caught that ball on the run, and I'll tell you, he turned the wrong way one time and kept straight on back, and that's a remarkable catch by Maddox.
I can't add much to that. That was just a super play. He turned the wrong way twice going after that ball, and still at the last second reached up and caught it over his shoulder. He looked like a split end going down the field and catching a pass.
Some play by Gary Lee Maddox. Here's George Hendrick, and the pitch is low inside a ball. Jim Cott continues to be hit hard, even though some of them are outs. The ball is really being rocketed here today. There haven't been any easy plays at all. 1-0 the count on Hendrick, right-handed batter, hitting at .285. 2 outs, nobody on in the inning. Next pitch to Hendrick is a changeup, and it's high. 3 is a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to George Hendrick. Padres got him from the Cleveland Indians. Curveball is low. Scott drops behind 3-1. Mike Champion waiting on deck. Padres lead at 4-3. Here's the next pitch. It's a high chopper off the plate. Schmidt comes in from third, gloves it, does not make a throw. A base hit for George Hendrick. It chopped so high off the plate that Schmidt knew right away he was not going to be able to even uncork a throw. Hit number 6 for San Diego, and that brings up Champion, the second baseman, batting at .242. There have already been 10 hits in this game, and we're in the 3rd inning. Outside, ball 1 to Champion. Padres have played more games than anybody else in the National League. This is their 99th ball game today. Here is another chopper off the plate. Schmidt grabs it, makes the throw to Sizemore at second for the force play, and the inning is over. San Diego in the 3rd, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Harry Callis will have the play-by-play for you in a moment. At the end of 3, San Diego leads it 4-3.
Ted Sizemore leads off for the Phils here in the 4th. A push bunt down the first base side. Fielded by Ochenko. The throw not quite in time. Size beats it out. Sizemore, who singled in a run his first time up, is at first base with a bunt single. His second hit of the ball game. That'll bring on Jim Cott. Cott walked his first time up. Padres look for a sacrifice here, although occasionally Danny will give a pitcher a shot at swinging at the first pitch. Ochenko stretches. Cott has already wheeled a bunt, but no throw to the plate. Now the stretch and a throw to first base. Sizemore is back in plenty of time. Ted was picked off in the second inning his first time up. Cott wheeled a bunt, then was going to take a full swing, and Ochenko almost threw the pitch away. A good block by Gene Tennis. 1-0 to count to Jim Cott, and Rick Sawyer back up in the San Diego bullpen. This has been a wild one. 4-3 San Diego. We're in the 4th inning. Another throw to first base, and again Sizemore gets back. Ochenko stretches. Cott around the bunt. Takes the pitch for a strike call, and it's 1-1. Follow the strike to Jim Cott. Cott hitting at 143. Another throw to first base, and again Sizemore gets back. Houston leads Chicago 7-8-6 now in the 8th inning at Wrigley Field. Here's a bunt foul by Cott, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to pitcher Jim Cott. Atlanta and Pittsburgh are now in the 11th inning. They are tied 5-5. The Braves tied it with a 2-run 9th inning. They're in the 11th, tied at 5. St. Louis shut out Cincinnati 3-0. Here's the pitch to Cott. He's down to bunt, bunts at foul, so he is a strikeout victim. That'll be the second strikeout for Ochenko. 1 down here in the 4th. Harry Rasmussen won that game, a 4-hit shutout over Cincinnati, and Paul Moskow took the loss. First game at 2 at San Francisco. At the end of 4-0, Wayne Twitchell against Jim Barr, and the Dodgers lead New York 1-0 after 2. Here's Jerry Martin. He is flied out and grounded out, and a throw to first base, and Sizemore gets back. American League, the Yankees beat Kansas City 3-1. Don Gullett won his 9th. The loser was Andy Hassler. No home runs in that game. The pitch to Martin is a curveball that found the inside corner for a strike ball. First of 2 at Baltimore, the Orioles beat Milwaukee 3-2 behind Mike Flanagan. Brian Haas took the loss. 1 strike pitch to Martin. Swing and a shot. Backhanded nicely, Allman. A Champion 1 relay double play. Good play by Bill Allman. The Mike Champion, the Mike Ivy. Martin drills the ball but hits into a twin killing. No runs a hit, no errors and none left. And at the end of 3.5, it's San Diego 4, Phillies 3. Tucker Ashford leads off for San Diego. Bouncing ball to Bowie. He charges and throws, and Ashford is out, 1 down. That'll bring up Bob Ochinko, the pitcher. And he takes a pitch over for a strike called. Cott comes right back, and Ochinko tries to bunt it. Bunt's foul, and Cott has a jump on him, 0-2. San Diego leading 4-3. We're in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Here's a pitch to Ochinko. Strike 3 called. Struck him out. Fastball on the outside corner. First strikeout for Cott. 2 down here in the fourth. That'll bring up Bill Ullman, the shortstop. He is lined out to right center on a fine catch by Gary Maddox and has picked up a base hit to right, knocking in a run. Doug Small of Drexel University, stationed here in the Navy, is at the ballpark, cheering for the Phils, along with Larry and Eileen Schneider of Warrington. Pitch on the way is over for a strike call. 1 strike to Bill Ullman. And we had some tasty cakes sent up to us from Lieutenant Fran Quindler of Havertown, who is also stationed out here. Pitch on the way, swing, fly ball, right center field. Maddox and Martin are both there. Martin calls off Maddox, makes the catch. So the Padres go down in order for the first time. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. And after 4, it's San Diego 4, Phillies 3.
I work hard for my money. I couldn't be happy saving in a place that wasn't paying me top dollar. I don't want 4.5% or even 5% interest. I want 5.25% interest. And that's what I get with my Valley Plus account at Valley Federal Savings. And with my Valley Plus account, I get a whole lot more. For instance, I get a free monthly statement of all my transactions. And I get a free Prestige Emergency Cash Card, which I can use at over 3,500 locations across America to cash a check or make a withdrawal of up to $200. I like the fact that Valley Federal gives me the highest interest allowed in regular savings and a whole lot of free extras. Yeah, you could say I'm happy with my Valley Plus account at Valley Federal. But then if you like the idea of getting the most for your money, you'll be happy at Valley Federal, too.
Ask us about our Valley Plus account. Drop by any of our offices. And don't forget our brand new Palmer Park Mall office in the Hess store. Valley Federal Savings.
Let's pause for station identification along the Phil's Baseball Network.
You're listening to the voice of the Philadelphia Phillies in northeastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey, WEST, Easton.
Well, this is it, fans. Time for another home run payoff. The exciting game of the Daily News that puts the Phillies at bat to win big money for you. Phillies homer this inning could win you $1,000 or $5,000 for a grand slam. If no homer is hit, you can still win 4 tickets to a future Phillies game, but you've got to play to win. Use the entry coupon appearing every day in the Daily News, and home run payoff can pay off for you. Larry Boa leading off, batting for Mary Ann Miley of Philadelphia. Boa takes a pitch high for a ball. And Ochinko delivers again high and away, and it's 2-0. Boa has doubled and scored a run and flied out to right field.
I think Alvin Dark wants to try and let this kid get to 5 innings and possibly get him a win, but I don't think he's going to go a whole lot further because he's really wild.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. It's over for a strike call. 2-1 the count to Larry Boa. Phillies trail 4-3. We're in the 5th inning. The 2-1 pitch. High ball 3, 3-1 the count to Boa. Ochinko has walked 3, struck out 2. 3-1 pitch to Boa, takes a strike call, and it's a full count to him. Three-two pitch to Boa, swing and a pop foul out of play. Stays 3-2. Larry batting for Mary Ann Miley of Philadelphia in our Daily News home run payoff. Boa to be followed by Mike Schmidt and then Greg Lozinski. Three-two pitch. Swing, a bouncing ball, tapped foul down the third base side. So it remains 3-2 to Larry Boa. Other American League games, Detroit defeated Toronto 6-2. Sykes won it, and Jesse Jefferson was the loser. Baylor a home run for Toronto. Texas 4, Cleveland 1. Doyle Alexander won it. Wayne Garland took the loss. Here's a pitch to Boa, swinging a ground ball deep short. Almond gloves, long throw, got Boa by a step. So there's one down here in the 5th inning. Marianne Miley of Philadelphia, you'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. That'll bring on Mike Schmidt. Schmidt will be batting for Mrs. Mary Clothier of Southampton, Pennsylvania. Mike has struck out, walked, and scored a run. Here's Ochenko's first pitch to him. A curveball is over for a strike call. Padres lead at 4-3. We're playing in the 5th inning. One strike pitch to Schmidt. Fastball inside. It's 1-1. One pitch. A change is pop foul back out of play. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Schmidt. One out, nobody on base. 5th inning. Ochenko is only in his 2nd year of professional baseball. Number 1 selection in the June draft last year out of Eastern Michigan. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Fastball, swinging a miss, struck him out. Schmidt goes down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Ochenko. And the 2nd time he has punched out Mike Schmidt. Mrs. Mary Clothier of Southampton, Pennsylvania. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. Here's Greg Luzinski. He'll be batting for George McGinnis. Scenic Drive in Trenton, New Jersey. And the pitch to the ball is on the inside corner for a strike call. Greg has doubled to knock in a run and singled to center field. 1 strike pitch to him. Fastball, jammed him, grounded to deep short. Almond gloves and throws. Luzinski an easy out. So George McGinnis of Trenton, New Jersey. You'll get 4 reserve seat tickets to a future Phillies game. Join us again tomorrow night when in a designated inning. You may win $1,000 or more on Daily News home run payoff. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left at the end of 4 1/2. San Diego 4, Phillies 3.
In New Jersey, bring your family in for a fitting.
This leads off for San Diego, bottom of the 5th. A fly ball slicing away from Jerry Martin. Long run for him. Martin gets there, though, and makes the catch, and Tennis is out 1 down. That'll bring on Big Dave Kingman. He has hit a home run to left center field and skied a foul pop to catcher Bob Boone. San Diego leads it 4-3. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Change to Kingman, just missed. What a nothing to count to Dave Kingman. Another change-up inside. It's 2-0. Fastball to him inside. 3-0 to count to Dave Kingman with 1 out. Dave looks down at third base coach Joey Amalfitano to see what he used to do. 3-0 pitch. Over for a strike call. It's 3-1 to Dave Kingman with 1 out. Three-one pitch to him. Pop foul out of play. Full count to Kingman. One out, nobody on base. Bottom half of the 5th. Pitch to Kingman. Very high pop up in the infield. Who wants it? Mike Schmidt making the call. Puts it away, and Kingman is out on a sky-high pop to Mike Schmidt. That's 2 down, and that'll bring up Dave Winfield. Winfield has doubled to right and popped up to second baseman Ted Sizemore. Here's a pitch to Winfield, and he takes it over for a strike call. 1 strike to Dave Winfield with 2 outs. Change up to him, over for a strike called, and Cott's in front of Winfield, 0-2. Both Cott and Ochinko have settled down after very shaky starts. Padres lead 4-3 in the 5th inning. Fastball inside to him, it's 1-2. 1-2 pitch to him, another fastball inside. 2-2 the count to Dave Winfield. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back out of play. Stays 2-2 to him. Winfield just recently signed a multi-year contract with the San Diego Padres. Two pitch. Ground ball hit just fair down the first base side past Davy Johnson. Winfield on his way to second base, takes the big turn and holds there. So a double just over the bag down the first base side off the bat of Dave Winfield. His second 2-base hit of the game, hit number 7, given up by Jim Cott. That'll bring on Mike Ivy. Ivy is singled to knock in a run and flied out to deep center field. And again, Warren Brewster gets back up. He has been up 4 of the 5 innings this game has gone on. He's been up in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and now the 5th. Here's a pitch to Ivy, and he checks his swing. It's low for a ball. 1-0 to Mike Ivy. Padres lead 4-3. Winfield at second base and 2 outs. Pitch to him, change-up curveball on the inside corner for a strike called. It's 1-1. Signal flash by Bob Boone. Cott steps off the rubber, looks Winfield back towards second base. Here's a pitch to Ivy. Drive into shallow right field near the foul line. Foul ball. Great effort by Davy Johnson. Could not quite come up with it. Just foul. Jerry Martin shading him to right center field. Had no chance. Davy Johnson a long run. It was just foul. Now they count 1-2 to Mike Ivy.
That's one of those balls that you couldn't have taken it with your hand and thrown it out there any better between 3 fielders than Mike Ivy did on that. And the Phillies were lucky. That ball was fouled by maybe a foot, if that.
Dave Winfield at second base, 2 outs. The ball and 2 strikes the count to Mike Ivy. Fouls it back. Stays 1-2 to him. Final game of this short 2-game series with the Padres will be tomorrow night. Randy Lurch going against Bob Shirley. Here's a stretch by Cott. 1-2 pitch, little bouncing ball off the plate. Bob Boone calls off. Cott, a wide throw, but a great grab by Davy Johnson. What a grab by Davy Johnson on a very wide throw by Boone. He almost threw it away. Davy Johnson saved the play and a run with a great grab. For the Padres in the 5th, no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 5, it's San Diego 4, Phillies 3. And now time for a tasty break.
Saturday, 8-3.
Davy Johnson will lead off for the Phillies here in the 6th. He is looped out to shallow center field and walked. Phillies trail by a run, 4-3. We're in the 6th inning. Bob Ochinko delivers to Davy Johnson a curveball that misses inside for a ball. Ochinko throws a lot of breaking balls. Another breaking ball misses low. It's 2-0. 2-0 the count to Johnson. He'll be followed by Gary Maddox and then Bob Boone. Pitch to Davey. He got a fastball and pops it into shallow center field. George Hendrick is right there. Puts it away, and Johnson is out, 1 down. That'll bring up Gary Maddox. Maddox has walked and scored a run and hit a sacrifice fly to knock in a run. 1 down, 6th inning. Ochenko now, after a shaky start, is retired 6 in a row. Pitch to Gary Maddox, curveball, looped into shallow center field. Hendricks coming hard. He's there, makes the catch. Maddox is out, 2 down, and that'll bring up Bob Boone. Booney's grounded out and flied out to deep center field. Houston has defeated Chicago by a score of 10-6. Gene Pence, the winner, and the loser was Ray Burris. So the Phillies, with a win this afternoon, could move to within 1 of Chicago. That's the first game, though, of a doubleheader. Here's the pitch to Boone. A curveball is over for a strike called. Atlanta and Pittsburgh are now in the 13th inning at Three Rivers. They're tied at 5. Ground ball in the hole. Backhanded Allman. The long throw, a low throw. It gets by Ivy. Boone heading for second base. Tennis throws, and Boone is out at second base. Tennis backing up the play through to Bill Allman. Boone thrown out at second base. Give him a base hit. And he's thrown out on a good backup. Gene Tennis to Bill Allman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left. And at the end of 5 1/2, it's Padres 4, Phillies 3. George Hendrick leading off for the San Diego Padres in the 6th inning. Takes one wide for a ball. And Cott's next pitch is low. 2-0 the count to Hendrick. Swing and a hard ground ball. Base hit to right field. So George Hendrick punches a single to right. Hit number 8 given up by Cott. Hendrick, a base runner at first base, his second hit. Nobody out. That'll bring up Mike Champion. Champion is grounded out and grounded into a fielder's choice.
I guess Brewster got tired because the Phillies now have Gene Garber up and throwing.
This will probably be Cott's last inning. He would be scheduled to bat in the 7th. Padres lead 4-3. Champion not sure of the signal flashed by Joey Amalfitano, so he goes down to talk to his third base coach. Here's a stretch by Cott. The pitch, he was wheeled to bunt. He takes low and inside for a ball. Brewster now is getting back up just in case they must take Cott out in this inning. Garber was going to come in if Cott were lifted for a pinch hitter, but if Cott does not get out of this inning, Brewster will come in. A throw to first base. Hendrick back in time. One ball, no strikes to count to Mike Champion. He was around to bunt. Steps back and looks at Joey Amalfitano to see if the bunt is still on. He's around to bunt. Bunts it out toward Cott. It's hit too hard. Jim throws to second for a force on Hendrick. Champion's bunt went too sharply back toward Cott. Cott throwing to Boa for the force on Hendrick. Champion safe at first on a fielder's choice. 1 down, and that'll bring on Tucker Ashford. Let's pause now for station identification along the Phillies Baseball Network.
You're listening to Phillies Baseball on the Lehigh Valley's Major League Sports Station, WEST Radio 14 Easton.
Here's third baseman Tucker Ashford. He takes a pitch wide for a ball. Ashford has walked and scored a run and grounded out. One-0 pitch to him, swinging a drive to right field. Jerry Martin drifting back, makes the catch right at the rim of the warning track. And Mike Champion will hold on at first base. With 2 outs, that'll bring up pitcher Bob Ochenko. Ochenko has sacrificed and struck out. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Padres lead it 4-3. Ochenko, a bouncing ball to Bowie. He flips to Sizemore for the fourth on Champion. And the Padres are down in the sixth. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. The end of 6, the score, San Diego 4, Phillies 3.
In the printing business.
Well, the Phillies come back to Veterans Stadium off this West Coast trip on Friday the 29th against the San Francisco Giants. The Giants will be there for a Friday night game at 8:05, Saturday night 7:35. Sunday afternoon, July 31st, starting at 1:35, and everyone that comes to the ballpark will get a Phillies batting helmet. Prior to the game on Friday night, the Phillies will take on their wives in a softball game, which is always a lot of fun. Then the San Diego Padres move in for a Tuesday and Wednesday night game, starting at 7:35, and a business person special on Thursday afternoon, August 4th, at 12:35. They'll be followed by the Los Angeles Dodgers for a big weekend series. Dodgers in for the weekend of the 5th, 6th, and 7th at Veterans Stadium, followed by the Montreal Expos twilight doubleheader against Montreal on Wednesday, August 10th at 5:35, and a day game Thursday, August 11th, 4:05. Longest homestand of the year coming up. Hope to see you there. Ted Sizemore leads off for the Phils, takes a pitch high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Sizemore. He'll be followed by Ollie Brown, who is in the on-deck circle to bat for Jim Cott. The pitch is high, ball 2. 2-0 to Size. Size has singled to left to knock in a run and has picked up a bunt base hit. Or 3 San Diego, 7th inning. 2-0 pitch to Sizemore. High, ball 3. It's 3-0. So Ochenko, who survived early trouble, Phillies got single runs in the first, second, and third, has fallen behind Ted Sizemore, 3-0. Here's the pitch to him. He takes all the way. It's over for a strike called, 3-1. Three-one pitch to Ted Sizemore. High, ball 4. He walked him. Size leads off the 7th with a walk. That's the 4th free ticket given by Bob Ochenko, and that'll bring up Ollie Brown. Brown coming up to bat for Jim Cott.
One of the reasons why Sizemore is so valuable, he adapts the situation so well. The Phillies need a run. It's late in the game, and he stands up there and waits a walkout off the pitcher who's been having trouble throwing the ball over the plate, and that's why he's such a good little player.
Brown is batting .267. 1 home run, 12 runs batted in. Ollie is a pinch hitter hitting .269. Pitch to Brown. A change is quite high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Ollie Brown, and Gene Tennis walks out to talk to Bob Ochenko. Rick Sawyer gets back up in the bullpen along with Dave Tomlin, a left-hander for San Diego. Padres leading in this game 4-3. All the scoring early. Phillies single runs in the first, second, and third. Padres got deuces in the first and second. 1-0 the count to Ollie Brown. Ochenko stretches. Here's his pitch. Curveball inside. It's 2-0. Now Alvin Dark trotting out to the mound. Time call by Alvin Dark, and this might be it for Ochenko. He's already made the way to the bullpen. Ochenko is going to be taken out of this game with a count 2-0 to Ollie Brown. So we have a pitching change for San Diego. We're in the 7th inning. It's Padres 4, Phillies 3. We'll be back after this brief pause.
Thinking of college? Maybe you're starting. Maybe you're returning. Maybe you're not sure. Well, widen your world with Widener College. Located in nearby Chester, Pennsylvania, Widener offers men and women both graduate and undergraduate degree programs and day and evening sessions. Summer sessions, too. Widener College offers courses leading to degrees in arts and sciences, engineering, nursing, management, and economics. A complete evening division program offers courses leading to associate or Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science degrees. The Widener College Summer Program provides fully accredited courses in the humanities, social sciences, engineering, sciences, and business. If you're planning to start or continue your education after even years of interruption, Widener has courses in your field of interest that will lead toward a degree. Now's the time to widen your world with Widener. For further information, call 215-876-5551.
Right-hander Rick Sawyer, the new pitcher for San Diego. He's won 5, lost 5. His earned run mark 5.73. Started this season as a starting pitcher. Been relegated to the bullpen. He's had 8 starts. And he will be appearing in his 28th game in relief. 87 innings pitched, 104 hits, 56 earned runs, 35 strikeouts, 39 walks. Ollie Brown had inherited the 2-0 count from Bob Ochinko, so Sawyer will be working 2-0 to possibly Ollie Brown, possibly somebody else. Tim McCarver is trotted in from the Phillies bullpen, and McCarver may bat for Ollie Brown. He is going to. Tim McCarver will pinch hit for Ollie Brown with the right-hander Rick Sawyer in there, and the count will be 2-0. Chris Wheeler, if McCarver should walk, the walk would be charged to Bob Ochinko. Who will get credit for the walk? Tim McCarver or Ollie Brown?
I would say that McCarver would get credit for it.
You would say that, but do you know that?
I am 99% sure.
Okay. But if he does walk this hitter, the walk is charged to Ochinko, right?
That is correct.
All right, 2-0 the count to pinch hitter Tim McCarver, who's batting for pinch hitter Ollie Brown with Ted Sizemore at first base. 7th inning, Padres lead 4-3. Dave Tomlin stays up in the Padres bullpen. Throw to first base, and Ted Sizemore back in plenty of time. Ochinko can win the game, and it was conceivable that he could also lose it. Pitch to McCarver is over for a strike called. It's 2-1. The only way he could lose it is if Sawyer walks McCarver here. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's low in the dirt, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Tim McCarver. Jerry Martin scheduled to hit next. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Tim. It's low, ball 4. He walked him. So the Phillies have 2 men on base. The walk will be charged to Ochinko.
Of course it's charged to Ochinko. I mean, was there ever a doubt?
No. No, there wasn't a doubt on that. McCarver does get credit for the walk, although Brown took the first 2 balls. Scheduled to bat Jerry Martin, but he is going back to the dugout, and Bake McBride is going to come out and pinch hit for Jerry Martin. So the Phillies have their first 2 men on base here in the 7th inning. Bake McBride hitting at .280. 6 homers, 30 runs batted in, but here comes Alvin Dark, and this will be all for Rick Sawyer. Alvin Dark will counter with the left-hand pitching Dave Tomlin. So we have another pitching change for San Diego. We're in the 7th inning. Padres 4, Phillies 3. We'll be back after this brief pause.
Once upon a time, there was a couple with entirely different tastes. One liked exotic things.
I'll have a banana split with chicken livers.
While the other was practical and down to earth.
American cheese on white.
Invariably, the exotic things she liked, he hated.
Oh, look at this, a corduroy rug. Don't you just love it?
No.
And the practical things he liked, she loathed.
I love it.
I hate it.
This went on at length until one day, after disagreeing on how to get there...
It's right.
Left.
They went to a Buick dealer and were invited to inspect a Buick Skyhawk. She found the low, lean styling and things like the bucket seats and standard 4-speed manual transmission exciting and exotic.
Oh, it's so exciting and exotic.
While he found the V6 engine, the practical hatchback, very down to earth.
Oh, how practical and down to earth.
Unfortunately, while they agreed on a Skyhawk, they couldn't agree on which Skyhawk.
Air conditioning.
Heater.
White walls.
Black walls.
Chrome wheels.
Hubcaps.
I want a stereo. We have a radio at home.
Buick Skyhawk. It's exotic, it's practical. It's a little Buick for everybody.
I'll drive.
I'll drive.
No, I'll drive.
I'll drive.
I'm driving.
New pitcher for San Diego, left-hander Dave Tomlin. Tomlin got credit for the win last night against the New York Mets in a comeback win for San Diego. He's 2-4 with an earned run mark of .366. He's also saved 3.
Danny Ozark came out of the dugout, Harry, during that pitching change to talk to Bake McBride, and it's possible the Phillies might bunt in this situation now, especially with the left-handed pitcher and McBride with the good speed, and he can make a lot of things happen just by putting the ball on the ground, put a lot of pressure in the defense, and I personally think that would be a good play right now.
Well, we'll see what Bake will do. Ted Sizemore at second, Tim McCarver at first. Nobody out, 7th inning, 4-3 San Diego leading. Phillies back home, remember, Friday night against the San Francisco Giants. Long homestand. San Francisco, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Montreal will all be in. Included will be a twilight doubleheader against the Expos on August 10th at 5:35. Business person specials against the San Diego Padres. That will be on Thursday, August 4th, starting at 12:35. Gene Tennis out to talk to Dave Tomlin. Bake McBride batting for Jerry Martin. Sizemore at second base, Tim McCarver first base, nobody out. They have the rotation play on and the pickoff try at second base, not in time. Allman charging to third base, hoping that Sizemore would follow him, and then second baseman Mike Champion sneaks in behind him. That pickoff play tried frequently also by the Phillies off the rotation play. And I have yet to see it work.
Sure looks good, though.
It does.
A lot of people moving around.
Sets up that rotation play, but I have never seen a guy picked off at second base on that.
It's just something to talk about.
Tomlin stretches, throw to second base. This time Allman over there, and Sizemore gets back.
What can happen when you do this sort of stuff is you can lull your outfield to sleep, and some of the other players who aren't involved in this, and somebody will make a mistake. The Padres really are kind of overdoing it right now.
Padres used to have a guy who was signed by the Phillies. Who was that pitcher, Dennis, from Ohio State? He picked about 7 or 8 guys off second base one year.
Steve Arlen.
Yeah. Steve Arlen. Picked about, I've never heard of a guy picking that many off second base in a season.
He used that Mike Marshall type move there where he wouldn't wheel and throw. He would just kind of step the opposite direction. It's tough on your shoulder to do it that way.
Tomlin steps off the rubber, and Bill Allman, the shortstop, trots in to talk to Dave Tomlin. Padres are filling around, playing cat and mouse with Ted Sizemore at second base. There has not been a pitch thrown to Bake McBride as yet. Now the pitch to the plate. Bake takes a strike called at the knees. Did not indicate a bunt. 1 strike to count to Bake McBride. Sizemore at second, McCarver at first, nobody out. One strike pitch, Bake, a bouncing ball up the middle. Allman gloves. He has only one play, and it's safe all around. Infield single for Bake McBride, and the Phillies have the bases loaded. Allman going hard to his left, fielded it behind second. McCarver, for a catcher, runs well, and he runs the bases well. Got to second base before Allman could flip to Champion for a force there. By the time he looked to second and threw to first, it was safe all around with Bake's speed, so the Phillies have the bases loaded. Nobody out, and another pitching change for San Diego. Dan Spillner has been called in. Bases loaded with Phils, nobody out. We're in the 7th. Padres lead 4-3. Another pitching change, and we'll be back after this brief pause.
Get up and go when you hear the time tone. Colonial Federal Savings and Loan. We pay highest interest, so I shop around. By far the most interesting people in town.
Win a 7-day, all-expense-paid October cruise to Bermuda aboard Holland America's luxurious Statendam. All cruise arrangements made by Talmadge Tours, 1223 Walnut Street, Philadelphia. Yes, you can be a winner of this fabulous cruise for two. Just enter the cruise sweepstakes at any Colonial Federal Savings and Loan office. In Philadelphia, 1206 Chestnut Street. In Havertown, on Westchester Pike across from the Manoa Shopping Center. And in Drexel Hill on Lansdowne Avenue at State Road across from Bond Shopping Center. No obligation, just stop in. So cruise on down to Bermuda. Cruise on down to your nearest Colonial Federal Savings and Loan office. Be a winner. Member FSLIC.
Get up and go when you hear the time tone to Colonial Federal Savings and Loan.
Well, Dan Spillner, a right-hander, is the fourth pitcher to work for Alvin Dark here in this seventh inning. Bob Ochinko, the starting pitcher, was in for a while. Then Rick Sawyer came in. Sawyer actually did not get credit for facing anybody because he inherited a 2-0 count and walked the hitter. That walk charged to Ochinko. Dave Tomlin coming in, pitching to one man, and now Dan Spillner. Spillner, the Phillies saw earlier this year when he was not pitching well, but he has really done the job. Spillner has won 5, lost none, saved 4, and an earned run mark of 2.40. Phillies have the bases loaded, nobody out. Trailing by a run, here's Larry Boa. Boa takes one outside for a ball. Boa has doubled and scored a run, flied out to right and grounded out. Sizemore at third, McCarver at second, McBride at first. Dan Spillner working to Larry Boa.
This inning could set a record for time consumed and least runs scored.
Phillies don't have anything across yet. Bases loaded. The pitch to Boa. Swing, fly ball, center field. Hendrick in straightaway center. Makes the catch, tagging Sizemore. No throw to the plate. Phillies have tied the game at 4. So give Boa a sacrifice fly and a run batted in. Sizemore scoring. McCarver staying at second. McBride at first. Boa knocks in his 32nd run of the year, and that'll bring on Mike Schmidt. Schmidt has struck out, walked and scored a run, and struck out. So this game is tied at 4 here in the 7th inning. 1 out. Tim McCarver at second. He walked. Bake McBride at first. He singled. And the pitch to Schmidt, swinging a pop foul back up over the screen. 1 strike to count to Mike Schmidt. Hey, crowd this afternoon, 12,695. Spillner stretches. 1 strike pitch. Swing and a pop foul out of play. He has a jump on Schmitty. Nothing in 2. Tom Griffin is starting to throw in the San Diego bullpen. 0-2 the count to Schmidt. It's a 4-4 ball game, 7th inning. Phillies have tied it here in the 7th with a couple of walks, an infield single, and a sacrifice fly. Pitch to Mike. Just missed inside. Kenneth thought it was there, so did Dan Spillner. Very close to be taking. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt.
That's a sure sign you've arrived as a star in this league when you get that pitch in your favor.
One-two pitch to Schmidt. Swing and a pop foul out of play. It stays a ball and 2 strikes to Mike Schmidt. Tomorrow night, Randy Lurch going against Bob Shirley. Final game of the series was San Diego. Phillies will play 4 at Los Angeles, a twilight doubleheader on Tuesday night. One-two pitch. Swing and a pop into shallow right field. Champion going out. Winfield coming in. It drops for a hit. McCarver moves to third. McBride to second. A looping single to shallow right field, falling between Winfield, Ivy, and Champion. McCarver and McBride had to hold on to make sure that ball would not be caught. So they could only advance one base, and the Phillies have the bases reloaded with one out. Gives Schmidt a looping single to right field. That'll bring on Greg Luzinski, who has doubled, singled, and grounded out. Bull has knocked in a run, leads the Phils with 72 on the year. Greg with a chance to untie this game. Bases loaded, one out. Padres infield, a double played up. Here's Spillner's pitch to Luzinski, low and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Greg Luzinski. One-0 pitch to the Bull. Swing and a miss and a good breaking ball. Ball and a strike to Luzinski. Bases loaded, one out. One run is in. Game tied at 4. 1-1 pitch. Swing. He had a cut, fouled it back. Spillner has the jump on him, a ball and 2 strikes. Tim McIver at third, he walked. Fake McBride at second, an infield single. Mike Schmidt at first, he looped a single to right. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low and inside, it's 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch to the Bull. Swing and a drive to left field. Base hit. Coming in to score, McCarver. Rounding third, McBride. He will score. Phillies lead it 6-4. Greg Luzinski lines a single to left field. Knocks in runs number 73 and 74 on the year, and the Phillies take a 6-4 lead.
You know, it almost becomes repetitive with him, but you like to see Greg Luzinski get 2 strikes on him in a situation like that because he's such a good hitter with 2 strikes on him, and Spillner jumped ahead in the count 1-2, and now Bull really becomes defensive and looks for something he can just hit somewhere, and he got a fastball out over the plate and really ripped it into the left center field, and the Phillies get 2 big runs, and he really is a clutch hitter.
So the Phillies lead at 6-4 here in the 7th, and Richie Hebner will come out to bat for Dave Johnson. Hebner hitting .302. 11 home runs. He's knocked in 36 runs. So the Phillies have come back to take a 6-4 lead here in the 7th inning.
Batting for Johnson, number 18, Rich Hebner.
Richie Hebner batting for Davey Johnson. The third pinch hitter to be used by Danny Ozark, actually 4. Ollie Brown took a couple of pitches. Tim McCarver came in to bat for Brown. He walked. Fake McBride got an infield single, and now Richie Hebner. Here's a pitch to Hebner. Swings and he misses. 1 strike to Rich Hebner. Mike Schmidt at third base. Greg Luzinski first base. 1 out. 3 runs are in. Phillies lead 6-4 in the 7th. Here's a 1-strike pitch. Bouncing up there. A good block by Tennis. Ball on a strike to count to Rich Hebner. Dan Spillner delivers 1-1. Low and inside with a breaking ball. It's 2-1 to Richie Hebner. Gary Maddox waiting on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a shot over the head of Ivy and into right field for a hit. Schmidt scores. Luzinski heading for third. Winfield's throw is wide. It skips away from Tucker Ashford. And there goes Hebner up to second base. That'll be a base hit for Richie Hebner. Ivy might have made a play on the ball, but it took a vicious hop over his head. Schmidt comes in to score. Phillies now lead at 7-4. Luzinski going to third base on the base hit. And there'll be an error charge to Dave Winfield as the ball got away from third baseman Tucker Ashford. So Philly runners second and third, still one out. Here's Gary Maddox, who is 0 for 1 officially. He has walked, hit a sacrifice fly, and flied out. 7-4 Phillies here in the seventh inning. Gary Maddox will be given the intentional walk. That'll load the bases, set up a double play possibility, and they'll pitch to Bob Boone. Phillies have scored 4 here in the seventh, lead in this ball game, 7-4. Gary Maddox will be given an intentional walk here. Here's ball 4. That'll load the bases. And as Bob Boone comes up, we'll pause for station identification along the Phil's Baseball Network.
The Lehigh Valley's #1 station for news and sports, bringing you Phillies baseball for the 20th year. WEST Easton.
Bases reloaded with Phil's 1 out. Here's Bob Boone. He is singled in 3 at-bats. Pitch to Boone is a slider away for a ball. 1-0 the count to Bob Boone. Padres play their infield at double play depth. Pitch to Boone is a strike called at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, at Pittsburgh, Atlanta scored a run in the 13th. Pirates scored 2 in the bottom of the 13th. Won it by a score of 7-6 in 13. Pittsburgh's won 5 out of 6. Kent DeCulvey won it. Steve Hargan the loser. Pitch to Boone is high for a ball, and it's 2-1. Well, the Phillies need a win to keep their lead over Pittsburgh. Phillies came into play 2 games ahead of the Pirates in National League East. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Boone. Swing and a pop foul out of play. 2-2 the count to Bob Boone. Greg Luzinski at third base. Richie Hebner at second. Gary Maddox at first. 1 out. Phillies leading 7-4, 7th inning. The 2-2 to Boone. Swing and a tap foul down the third base side. It stays 2-2 to him. Dan Spillner winds. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a pop foul back up over the screen and out of play. Stays 2-2 to Boone. Wind up by Spillner. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a very high fly ball. Foul ball down the left field side. And long enough to be out of here, but foul by about 30 feet. Grabbed by a fan who brought a glove. And foul ground. Boone really smacked that ball, but foul by 30 feet.
Boy, that was an outstanding catch by that fan out there. That was, as you would say, a towering fly ball, and he really stayed with it.
2-2 to Boone. Pitch to him. Swing, bouncing ball, foul down the third base side. Stays 2-2 to Bob Boone. Phillies have scored 4 here in the 7th, lead this game 7-4. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, a full count to Boone. So it's 3-2 to Bob Boone with the bases loaded, 1 out. Greg Luzinski at third, he singled. Richie Hebner at second, he singled. Gary Maddox at first, he was intentionally walked. Full count to Bob Boone. Time is called by Gene Tennis, the catcher. He trots out to talk to pitcher Dan Spillner. Spillner, the fourth Padre pitcher to work here in this seventh. Ochinko, Rick Sawyer, Dave Tomlin, and Dan Spillner. Full count to Boone. Fakes a pickoff throw to third, then wheels around to try to get Maddox caught off the bag at first, but nothing going on. And no throw by Spillner. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swing and a pop-up in the infield. Mike Ivy, the first baseman, waits. Infield fly rule in effect. Boone is out on a pop-up to Mike Ivy for out number 2. And that'll bring up the man who started the inning, Ted Sizemore. Size walked and scored a run. He's 2 for 2 this afternoon. Line single to left and a punt single. Bases remain loaded, 2 outs. Here's a pitch to Sizemore, swinging a ground ball. Great grab by Tucker Ashford. Fires the second for the force on Maddox. Nice play by Tucker Ashford. And the Phillies are down in the 7th inning. Phillies score 4 runs in the inning. 4 hits, no errors, 3 men left. And at the end is 6.5. Phil 7, San Diego 4. Fake McBride stays in the ballgame and right. Richie Hebner at first base. New pitcher is Warren Brewster. For more play-by-play, here's Andy Musser.
Thank you, Harry. And the first man that Brewster will walk on is Bill Allman. Shortstop has driven in a run in this ball game, right-handed batter. So it's up to Warren Brewster to nail down the Padres now, and the first pitch is over for a strike call. Brewster, the rookie right-hander with a 3-2 record, a 2.77 earned run average, appearing in his 28th ball game. Brew has earned 2 saves this year. He winds, pitch to Allman is one hop right back to him. Brewster grabs it on the mound and throws him out to Hebner, who is also just into the ball game defensively after being used as a pinch hitter. So there's one down in San Diego's 7th inning, and here's Gene Tennis. He's 1 for 3 today with an RBI single. Tennis has had his hands full as a catcher today. Looks like the Padres pitched about 3 knuckleball pitchers today, but they aren't knuckleball pitchers. Pitch on the way to the plate to Tennis's low, ball 1. He has walked 85 times this year. He would have to be one of the National League leaders in that department. Here's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tennis. Dave Kingman is on deck. Phillies now lead for the first time in the ball game, 7-4. Brewster winds. Here's the next pitch. It is low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gene Tennis. Tennis has played both first and third for San Diego this year, in addition to doing catching. And he was at first base the last time the Phillies played San Diego. Here's the next delivery to him. It's low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Tennis. Tennis, the only player in baseball history ever to homer in his first 2 World Series at-bats. Here's a 1-hopper to Larry Boa. Digs it out, throws to Hebner in time. Tennis grounds out to shortstop, 2 outs. And Dave Kingman. Dave hit his 14th home run in his first at-bat. Has popped out twice since. He's 1 for 3. Phillies have out-hit San Diego 10-8. Kingman still on sign. San Diego Padres taking a chance on him. Pitch is low in the dirt. He doesn't exactly have very impressive credentials to gain a new contract, though, does he, Chris?
He is really a joke trying to ask for as much money as he asked for. He's a very one-dimensional ball player and certainly not worth that kind of money.
Checks his swing and takes a pitch. It's a ball, 2-0. Kingman batting right now at 209. 14 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Brewster winds, 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. There was the uppercut home run rip. Kingman failed to connect.
Well, he calls himself exciting in a gate attraction, and that's why he figures he should make that kind of money, but I don't know. He scares you when he's on another team, but I sure wouldn't want him on our ball club because he just does so many things poorly.
The 2-1 delivery. Swings at a pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2 to Kingman. Be interesting to see whether the Padres make a bona fide attempt to keep him or not. Here's the 2-2 delivery. It's way outside. 3-2 the count.
Oh, I think they'll try to keep him, but I think he has his mind set on what he feels that he is worth, and you can't blame the guy, and he's going to get it if he can.
Here's the full count pitch. He swings and gets a piece of it. It drops at the plate at the feet of Boone, so he's alive. A 3-2 count on Kingman. 2 outs in the inning, nobody on base. Phillies sent 10 men to the plate in the top half of this inning, a 4-run inning, their second big inning of this road trip. They had an 8-run round at San Francisco. Here is a long drive into left field. It's going to stay in the ballpark. It one hops to the wall. Kingman on his way to second base, and he will get there coasting in with a stand-up double. He stroked it hard into the alley in left center field, and Kingman with his second extra base hit of the ball game.
Number 31, Steve Winfield.
A 2-out runner for San Diego brings to the plate Dave Winfield, who has had a pair of doubles today. Winfield is 2 for 3. Phillies with a 7-4 lead. Dave Winfield, he's certainly not a one-dimensional ball player, a fine offensive player, as witness his .295 batting average, a club leader in homers and RBIs, also an excellent outfielder. Here's a high chopper off the plate. Sizemore gloves near the bag at second, throws over to Hebner in time for the out. Winfield out, and so are the Padres in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. And at the end of 7, Phillies lead at 7-4. Now time for a tasty break. Crowd of over 12,000 announced here at San Diego Stadium today as Warren Brewster leads it off for the Phillies. Chops one off the plate towards second. Champion has to wait for it to come down, but makes the play to first in time, and Brewster is retired. First out in the 8th inning, and it brings up Bake McBride. Bake getting his second at-bat in the ball game. He singled a deep shortstop, behind second actually, as a pinch hitter in the 4-run 7th inning for the Phillies, and eventually came around to score on the RBI single by Luzinski. Bake staying in the on-deck circle, giving Warren Brewster a chance to run back from first base.
Number 22.
That was Brewster's 5th at-bat of the year. He is still looking for his first hit. A 3-run lead for the Phillies as they try to gain on the Chicago Cubs, who lost the first end of their doubleheader today to the Houston Astros. Chicago White Sox won another ball game. They beat the Red Sox today 9-6. Winning pitcher Francisco Barrios and the losing pitcher Fergie Jenkins. Yastrzemski, Lynn, both homered for the Red Sox. Soderholm hit 2 of them for the White Sox, numbers 11 and 12. First pitch to McBride was low. Here's the next delivery on the way, and again low. 2-0 to left-handed batting Bake McBride. Just one of those perfect Southern California days here today. And the crowd not enjoying the Padres behind in this ball game, but they have had some thrills, and they've enjoyed the sunshine. Right back to the mound, knocked down by the pitcher Spillner. He picks it up and he throws out McBride. Bake is out on a hard chopper to the mound. 2 outs, and here's Boa. Larry 1 for 3 with an RBI, a stolen base, a double, and a run scored. Boa batting .288. Larry has really picked up his average. I believe it had dipped as low as the 230s, if my memory is correct. Here's Spillner's first pitch to him, and it's a looper down the line in left field, coming hard as Kingman. He can't get it, and it falls in fair territory, a single for Larry Boa. Just a looper down the left field line, about halfway between the bag at third and the bullpen area. Kingman came in but had no chance, and Boa's got his second hit of the ball game. That's the Phillies' fourth hit off Spillner, and their 11th of the ball game. Here's Mike Schmidt with 2 outs and Boa at first. Schmidt has a hit today, so Mike has batted safely in 16 of the last 17 Phillies games. Throw to first, Boa is back in time. Schmidt has scored 2 runs in this game, has walked once and struck out twice. He's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch to him. Fastball misses inside, ball 1. Ron Reed is throwing in the Phillies bullpen right now. Nobody up in San Diego's pen. Another throw to first. Boa beats it. Phillies and the Padres go again tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Philadelphia time. Pitch to Schmidt is a strike called. Ten to 6, Houston over Chicago in the first end of that doubleheader. The Cubs lead the second game 1-0 at the end of an inning and a half. Pirates winners in 13, 7-6 over Atlanta. Here's a pop fly down the right field line in fair territory. Back is Ivy, and he gloves it in foul ground for the out. Pretty good play by Ivy as he just continued to pursue that ball and finally caught up with it near the warning track. Phillies in the 8th inning, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 7.5, San Diego trailing the Phillies 7-4. The Phillies are bringing Ron Reed into work the 8th inning for San Diego, against San Diego, and obviously something must have happened to Warren Brewster because Brew was the leadoff batter last inning. If the Phils had planned to make a change, I'm sure they would have pinch hit for Brewster at that time. So he may have injured himself running out a ground ball. He took a long time getting back to the dugout. You'll recall we were saying that Bake McBride was waiting in the on-deck circle to give Brewster a chance to come back. So Reed is in the ball game. Ron has a 6-4 record, a 2.96 earned run average, appearing in his 38th ball game. Mike Ivy, the first batter to face him. Reed into his windup. Here's the pitch to Ivy. Swing and a foul, straight back, strike 1. Ivy today is 1 for 3 with an RBI. Pirates have won 5 of their last 6 games. The winning pitcher today in that 7-6 victory over Atlanta in 13 was Kent DeColvey. He's 8-1. The loser, Steve Hargan, is 0-2. Joe Nolan hit a home run for Atlanta. Fastball misses high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Giants won the first end of their doubleheader over Montreal, ending the Expos' 6-game winning streak 3-0. Jim Barr beat Wayne Twitchell. Here's a ground ball toward second base. Sizemore gloves, and Ivy is out. 1 down in the inning. George Hendrick will bat. Well, the Mets lead the Dodgers 2-1 last half of the 8th inning. Dodgers have really been in a skid. They have lost 6 of 8 games, but they haven't lost any ground on the Reds. The Reds lost again today. That's 6 straight. St. Louis beat them 3-0. Winning pitcher in that ball game, I believe, was Eric Rasmussen, and the losing pitcher was Paul Moskow. Ball 1 to Hendrick. Reed winds. Here's his next pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-0 to Hendrick. He's had hits his last 2 times at the plate. 2 for 3. 2-0 pitch on the way to Hendrick. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. Pitchers are up at San Francisco for the second game. Don Stanhouse for the Expos. Lynn McLaughlin just off the disabled list for the Giants. Line drive in right field. It stays up for Bake McBride, and he catches it for the out. Looked like a base hit when it left the bat, but it didn't sink, and Bake McBride was able to catch it without coming in too far.
I was walking through the press box a little while ago, Andy, and I heard someone from the Padres mentioning what good plays the Phillies outfielders are making. And, you know, you kind of take it for granted when you're around this ball club the way Maddox and Jerry Martin and Bake McBride play the outfield, but they have really done a super job today cutting off some base hits, and that was a good play by McBride there.
The batter is Mike Champion. Here's a line drive to center field. Coming hard is Maddox, and he catches that one before it sinks. So the Phillies outfield does the job again here in the 8th inning, and the Padres are retired in order for only the second time in the ball game. At the end of 8, Phillies lead at 7-4.
When you're in the...
When the Phillies return to the vet after this road trip, they open a big weekend series against Bill Madlock and the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are in town for a Friday night game starting at 8:05 July 29th, a Saturday night game at 7:35, and a Sunday afternoon game on July 31st starting at 1:35. Prior to the game on Friday night the 29th, the Phillies will take on their wives in a softball game. And on Sunday afternoon the 31st, everyone entering the ballpark will receive a free Phillies batting helmet. Big doings with the San Francisco Giants starting Friday night the 29th. Make your plans ahead of time and join us at the vet for baseball. Pat Scanlon has now gone in to play second base for San Diego, and the new pitcher will be Tom Griffin. Phillies up in the 9th inning. Griffin will be the 5th pitcher used by San Diego today. Griffin is a right-hander, has a 5-9 record, has been used as a starter most of the year, has a 5.03 earned run average. He will be in to face Greg Luzinski. Pitch to the ball is inside, ball 1. They are probably batting Scanlon in the pitcher's spot because he was due to be the second hitter next inning. Here's a strike called. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luzinski. Next pitch on the way to the ball, a fastball inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Griffin winds, the ex-Astro makes the pitch, and it's a swing and a miss. Griffin ready to work. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Ground ball foul. We have an oddity in this ball game. As it stands right now, Ochinko would be the losing pitcher. But he did not put the winning run on base. At least not literally so. According to baseball rule, he did. He left with a 2-0 count on the pinch hitter. The Phillies even changed pinch hitters, so the guy that he actually put on base or was credited with putting on base, he never even saw him. Greg swings and misses. But that turns out to be the go-ahead run right now. That was the 5th run for the Phillies, and they lead it now 7-4. So Greg strikes out, and that brings up Richie Hebner. Hebner grounded a single beyond first base and got an RBI in his only at-bat in this ball game. That was in the big 4-run 7th. Now facing right-hander Griffin, who winds and misses outside, ball 1. Hebner's batting at .305. Griffin ready to work. The 1-0 delivery misses inside. 2-0 to Hebner. Left-hander Bob Ochinko started the game, worked into the 7th inning. Then Sawyer came in. He actually was the guy that finished out the walk to McCarver, but it was charged to Ochinko, and then he was taken out of the game before he faced anybody else. Hebner takes high, ball 3. Then Tomlin came in. He officially pitched no thirds of an inning, but he did give up a hit and a run. And Spillner worked 2 innings, giving up 4 hits and 1 run. 3-0 pitch to Hebner. Strike on the inside corner, 3-1.
And that, folks, in a nutshell, tells you about what we were talking about earlier in the game, that the problem with this ball club in San Diego is on the mound. They used all those pitchers in that inning.
That's right. Here's the next pitch, and it's lifted in the air to left field toward the line. Kingman coming over. He goes into foul ground and grabs it for the out. Hebner fouls out to left fielder Dave Kingman. That's 2 down. Heading up is Gary Lee Maddox.
Number 31.
Gary officially 0 for 1 today, but it doesn't begin to tell the story on his day. He has walked and scored. He walked another time, drove home a run on a sacrifice fly RBI, and the only time they got him out was in the 6th inning when he popped out to center field. Gary swings and sends one looping on the right side, fielded by Scanlon at second, throws to Ivy in time. A nice play by second baseman Scanlon. Phillies out in order in the 9th inning, so we go to the last of the 9th with the Phillies leading it 7-4. We go to the 9th inning with San Diego down by 3 runs, facing Ron Reed, and Reed's going to look at a couple of different players now. Gene Richards will be out first as a pinch hitter. Then they put Pat Scanlon into the number 9 spot when they changed pitchers last inning.
Number 29, Gene Richards.
So Gene Richards will bat. He's hitting at .244. He leads the Padres in stolen bases with 31. He's been caught stealing only 3 times. Richards has stolen 14 straight bases. Left-handed batter chokes up on the bat. First pitch to him is sliced down the left field line. Foul out of play, strike 1. A strike to Gene Richards. Pat Scanlon is on deck. Ron Reed, the third Phillies hurler of the ball game. Here's the next pitch to Richards, and he slices another foul out of play down the left field side. Let's pause for station identification, the Phillies Baseball Network.
Follow the Phillies all season right here on the Lehigh Valley Sports Spot, Radio 14, WEST Easton.
Next pitch on the way to Richards. Checks his swing, and it's a called third strike. Gene Richards is out of there after fouling 2 pitches. Reed puts one over that handcuffs him, and that's the first out in the 9th inning. He's only the second San Diego batter to strike out today. We've been hearing about how many strikeouts these guys have been coming up with.
I'm sitting here laughing at that crazy chicken they have here chasing foul balls in the stands. He goes barreling over Rose. It's a wonder he doesn't kill himself.
Pitches high a ball. People probably think we're crazy talking about him, but he's one of the best entertainers at a ball game that I've ever seen in my life.
Hysterical. He really is. He's just a tremendous performer.
1-0 pitch on the way. Here is a line drive into center field. Maddox can't get it. It bounds off the heel of his glove, and that'll be a base hit for Pat Scanlon. It was a hard play for Maddox. It was a sinking line drive. Gary coming straight in with no angle at all. He did get leather on it, but he couldn't hold it. That's a base hit.
Been talking about how good the Phillies outfielders have been all day, and Maddox did about all he could on that one. They were about due not to come up with one of those line shots.
Back to the top of the batting order in Bill Allman. A 1-for-4 day for the rookie shortstop, plus an RBI and a run scored. Ron Reed now works from the stretch for the first time since coming in. Fastball hits the outside corner, strike 1. Phillies trying to nail down this victory against San Diego. Pick up ground on the Chicago Cubs, who lost the first of 2. Ground ball towards second. Could be 2 to short. There's 1. Back to first. Double play, and the ball game is over. Allman grounds into a 4-6-3 double play, and it's all over. The Phillies have won the ball game by a 7-4 score, and we'll have the wrap-up in a moment.